Is it possible for a person to still be in his or her healing process and still get into a relationship that would work?
So first of all, let me even go back to the fact that nobody can change except they decide. In the scenario you painted, unless she decided that this is what I want to do, not because of you, not because of the relationship, but because of herself. If she had made up her mind that that was what she wanted, then she would have gotten the result from it. But for as long as you were the one making up the mind for her, there was no way we could have worked. And sometimes we need to be able to accept the fact that we can't change people. We are not assistant Holy Spirit. We are not their healers. Now, sometimes God will bring us into relationship with people to expose certain things in us that are broken. So that's why you can be in a relationship with someone and heal. And it's like you can just be sitting dormant and be okay with everybody, and then somebody then comes into your space. And when the person comes into your space, you start to act different. Then you now wonder, like, what is wrong? Maybe there's something wrong with that person. Maybe it's already the person. There's something in you that is now responding to that person because there's something that's broken on the inside of you. And so sometimes there are certain relationships, not because the relationship is bad for you, but because it is now time to heal. So God can then bring you into relationship with people because it is now time for you to heal. And if you don't see that, oh, God is exposing this thing, sometimes you think the person is the problem, not knowing that you are the one that is the problem.
True.
And so your finger is pointed at the other person. Oh, this person. No, but you are the one that is the problem. And you should be able to sit down to ask yourself, what about this person triggers me? What about this person? Where did this come from? Is this my first experience with this? Why does this affect me? Why do I misbehave? Why? Ask yourself a lot of questions. Be able to go to the root of those issues. Therapy is expensive, but you sometimes can do self-therapy on yourself. It first comes to self-awareness, and that's why I said you can actually be in a relationship and be healing if you can practice the steps of growth. First is self-awareness. If you are aware that there is a problem, then you can start to say, okay, what is the problem? And start diagnosing, how do I fix this problem? What do I need to do to be able to dig into all parts of this issue to find the other areas that are wounded that I can start to fix? So it takes a lot of inquisition, asking questions, looking deep, and then doing the work. The best time you can heal something is when the wound is open. If you don't deal with it, so for example, if I'm in a situation with you and then you triggered me at that time, and I say to myself that next time Yole annoys me this way, I will not respond. So next time that situation happens, I now responded. If I keep making that decision without taking action in the moment when Yole is annoying me, I will not heal from it. It's in the heat of the moment. So you have to make the decision before that situation comes up. When the situation comes up again, what always happens is that your predecision will come back to you and tell you that you remember you said next time Yole does this thing that you will not react. And that thing is like a split second thing. In that split second, if you decide to listen to that thing, you've broken it off. If you choose that you don't want to listen to it and that you want to continue, it will be harder for you to fix it the next time. When you start doing things like that, you are doing your self-diagnosis and you're identifying the things that are triggering you, and then you start making pre-decisions, and then you find yourself in that same situation again, and then you choose that pre-decision and make it a decision and change your behavior. It may not even be that if you're going to score yourself that you scored 100% on that thing, maybe you scored 70%. Guess what? You've made progress. Even if it's 20%, you've made progress. Take your pre-decision again, look for the situation where that trigger happens again, and then enforce it. You keep moving in the direction of your healing. Next time someone like Yole now presents themselves to you, it may not even be you, maybe somebody else that does that same thing, you would see that it doesn't move you as much as it used to move you before. Not because you become complacent, because there's a place of complacency where you actually kill your emotions, or you kill the things that are helping you to live. Because emotions are important. Pain, joy, all these things, they are very, very important. Truly, emotions are important. But if you don't allow yourself to feel those things, feel pain, feel joy, if you don't allow yourself to feel pain, you feel joy. Like you have to be able to feel. So you can't become complacent, because if you become complacent, you are killing your ability to be able to feel other things as well, because it's the same emotion you're going to use to process all those other things. So when you identify that this thing between me and Yole as it's going, I'm not really liking this, right? And I have decided that I want to heal. When it happens again, then I will find that maybe I scored 20% on my pre-decision. Next time it happens again, maybe it's now 40%. The more I continue to take power every time that pre-decision comes to me, I will master the ability to be able to start and begin to control myself, to begin to create the change. You will be in that relationship, and as you've come to that person, because the idea is that the person is exposing those things in you that are broken. As you come face to face with those things that are broken, you will then receive power to start living above those things, to start healing those parts of you that have caused you trauma. It's a learning curve. It's a continuous process. You just have to decide that you're not ending the journey on yourself, that you're choosing yourself, and you're choosing your health, you're choosing the fullness of your soul, the manifestation of the fullness of you. One thing I say many times is that I choose to be the best version of myself, and I will continue to work on that. So she couldn't have been doing it because of you. If she's doing it because of you, it's the wrong reason. Do you understand? And even you, to be very frank with you, if you're doing it not because of the interest of her, but okay, let her get it right so this relationship can work, you are wrong. Because you should first think about her as, oh, I can see that this person is hurt. Even if this relationship does not work, I want to ensure that she's the best version of herself and she's whole. It's like you see a sick person on the road and you are more concerned about how can I be in a relationship with this sick person, not can this sick person be well. Do you understand? If you were doing it for, okay, let her be well, not because also that our relationship can finally work, then you are doing it more from love than selfishness.
So I was actually doing it from the perspective of this person needs to be well, because obviously I could see how every single person around her was being affected. As a matter of fact, I was the longest standing friend that she ever had. Up until this time, because when these people stay for a while, both male and female, they cannot stay, they just detach. Just give them a little bit of time, they just detach. Why? Because it gets to, even she would detach by herself most of the time. I don't send anybody, let everybody get out. So I could see through her, and I could see through why all of those things were happening. The perfect example, one time a few years ago, we were on bike together. Can't remember, we were going somewhere, and it was an elderly man that carried us, very elderly man. And this man was, I think the man was a bit drunk, so he was just talking nonsense. Rain just fell, and on that particular road, it was swampy. There was water everywhere. The man was going on high speed, and he just poured water on us on top of that bike. She could not hold herself. She talked this man down to zero. I'm like, wait, calm down. This is an elderly man. I know that this man is drunk and obviously looks irresponsible, but then he's an elderly man. Calm down. She turned at me. I became the issue. When we came down from that bike, we literally had an issue over that matter. I could see how it affected every single person around. My friends could not come close to me anymore because that repelling effect is always there. So I knew that this is a big issue. It had to be sorted. So it wasn't just because of me. It was more about this person that has amazing gifts. She's smart. She's very intelligent inside of her, but single maintaining relationships could just ruin everything. So that was my approach.
Did she ever do therapy?
No.
She never did therapy. So, and one of the things I wanted to also mention, it's very hard for you to actually look yourself in the eye and be like, I have a problem and I want to fix it. You know why? Because people are more familiar with trauma than healing. I know who I am with trauma. But when you present a healed version of me, I don't know who that is. I don't know how to relate to that person. So it's like a stranger. So it's really hard for you to just tell someone, come and sleep with a stranger. Yeah, stay on the same bed. And you just like, who are you? Like you feel irritated already. And you're presenting a new version of that person to themselves. It takes a lot to actually just own it and be like, okay, this is not right. So I'm used to it. I'm comfortable with it, but it's not right for me. And that's why it's hard for people to change.
This particular conversation is uploaded as a series on my profile. So you can check the playlist on my profile that is tagged KY's Pod for the rest of the series.